You'd be surprised at how little I had to do to let my marriage die. All I had to do was nothing. I didn't notice it at first, the little moments that I ignored, the conversations I skipped, the moments that I just didn't show up. But each small neglect in a relationship stacks up, and it can add significant weight. In Ephesians 4:32, it says, "Be kind to one another, tender-hearted, forgiving one another." That sounds simple, but it isn't when your heart is full of resentment. When you're angry, when you're keeping score. I can remember sitting in silence while she tried to talk to me. Just staring at the wall. I thought I was right, so there was no need to listen. She thought I was wrong. And in that moment, I chose to walk away emotionally. But if I'm being honest, I checked out long before that. In the later years of our marriage, especially when the kids were teenagers, things became harder. We had different parenting styles, different opinions, different expectations. And instead of working together, we fought for control. I had to be right. I had to win. I had to prove that my way was better. It's the strangest thing. I have these 2 fish in San Quentin, which is my biggest tank right over here, that are a breeding pair. They haven't actually had babies yet because they're a different species. So these 2 fish that definitely don't belong together have bonded. I've often referred to them in my other videos with cichlid charmer as cichlid trash because of their trashy dispositions. They're the trash of the neighborhood. But they do one thing very well. They stay together. They're a team. A strange team, but still a team. When something goes wrong in the tank, like Kevin gets in a brawl with another inmate, who's always there to support him? Sylvia. She's always there. And even if they get in a little quarrel, they come back together. Even fish do it much better than I did. I didn't see that compromise was love. I didn't see that listening was love. I didn't see that humility was love. I can remember more recently feeling the sting of the realization that April had been giving everything that she had, and I was giving absolutely nothing back. I was taking what she was giving and contributing absolutely nothing. Ecclesiastes tells us 2 are better than 1. But I didn't make it feel that way. No, I was selfish, I was controlling, and I was emotionally distant. My wife loved me better than I loved her. That hurts to say, but it's true. She forgave more, tried more, prayed more, and I hardened my heart more. Every time that she reached out, I pulled back. Every time that she hoped, I doubted. But during our separation, there were glimpses of hope. Little moments that made me pause and think, maybe I've been wrong.
a kind word that she whispered, a smile when she thought I wasn't looking, a small act of forgiveness, and asking me to forgive. I would receive a text out of the blue asking me to forgive her for something that she'd done years ago. "I was wrong," she said. "Please forgive me for that." And this is months after I'd abandoned her in search of finding something better. Through more and more of those moments, I started to notice. I began to realize that love isn't always loud. Sometimes it's a quiet apology, a quiet thank you for something I'd done right. Sometimes you only notice these things in the whispers. We were two, but I lived like one. And eventually, I walked away. But that isn't the end of this story. Next time, I'll talk to you about the prison that I made for myself. And I'll share what finally changed everything.